And we keep our focus on US's Vice President J.D. Vance's visit. He has touched down in India with his family. This kicks off his first official 4-day visit to India. J.D. Vance has been accompanied by his wife, the Second Lady of the United States, Usha Vance. The couple was received at the Palam Air Base by Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. Very heartwarming pictures they're coming in, the way they were welcomed. A ceremonial guard of honor also marked their arrival, underscoring the significance of this high-profile visit. This also comes at a crucial time with the global attention fixated on the Trump administration's tariff pause and the 90-day window for nations to negotiate trade deals. China is keeping a very close eye on this visit, but take a look at the pictures that have come in. Those are the moments capturing the touchdown of J.D. Vance. Lots lined up on this 4-day visit. For both the countries, this visit could be crucial as India and the United States are also actively negotiating a trade deal, and India certainly would want favorable terms for its export. Both the nations have also set themselves an objective to double trade between the two countries to about $500 billion by the year 2030. Now, India and US will also be keen on countering China's growing influence in the Indo-Pacific. India also would naturally want to discuss better arrangements and also wants to understand what's on focus. Now, the Trump government stand on H-1B visas and the joint efforts to counter illegal immigration into the United States will also feature in the talks. Now, remember, this is also the first major meeting between the leaders of two governments since the successful extradition of 2611 plotter Tahavvur Rana. Pradeep Datta, Priyank and Rishabh are joining us first, and Shinjoy Chaudhary also with us. Good morning to all of you. J.D. Vance has touched down in India. I would like to go across to Pradeep Datta first. Pradeep, the pictures that have come in exuding warmth, what is the larger message when we actually go through these pictures, and what's the big takeaway that we are all expecting from J.D. Vance's visit to India?
Yes, you rightly said that J.D. Vance and his family has already touched down at Palam Airport, and a short while back you heard that there was a ceremonial guard of honor and the national anthem of both the country was played, and he was received by Ashwini Vaishnav, the senior minister in the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's cabinet. And a warm welcome has been accorded to J.D. Vance and his family. This visit is going to be really very significant. One, it's like homecoming for Usha Vance, who's basically from Andhra Pradesh area. And then there is also, if it will not be wrong if we call it a blend of both emotional, personal as well as diplomatic engagement during this visit. Because after coming out from in a short while, he'll be coming out of Palam Airport. Already the security has been beefed up, and anytime he'll be coming out, the cavalcade will be moving. Either the cavalcade will be first going to the hotel. After that, they will be leaving for Akshardham Temple. Akshardham Temple means they are going to start a visit for India from that center of divinity and spirituality, where they will be paying obeisance, and from there they will be going towards the cottage Emporium, where they will be buying something. They will go for shopping because it's all about the Indian culture, handicraft, and other items that will be available there at the Emporium. So they have chosen that particular place where they will be visiting. From there onwards, they will be going to the American Embassy, where they will be interacting with the staff members. And in the evening, there is going to be a meeting between Prime Minister and J.D. Vance. That meeting is really going to be very important. You rightly said that it is all about trade, tariff, and the turbulence around that that's going on, because both the leaders will look at the progress, the negotiation that is going on so far as the tariff and the trade is concerned, because both the countries have already vowed that they want to double the trade in the coming days. That means they are going to negotiate, and that's what actually India is really looking at. And then there are other issues also that India will like to discuss, the issues about the visa to be granted to the students. Many of the students should not face any kind of a problem.
Because as these pictures keep coming in, let's also talk about the other important aspect of this visit. Given Usha Vance's Indian heritage, many are saying that there is an element of soft diplomacy that is very strongly embedded in this visit. Let me go across to Priyank. Priyank, the first stop will be the Akshardham Mandir. There's going to be some shopping that will take place in the capital. How does this impact public perception in India as well? Because all eyes are on the way. The Indian government and the entire Vance family is approaching this high-profile visit.
Very important, Sagarika, good morning, because J.D. Vance coming along with his wife for the personal tour, and that too, if you could clearly see, the dress of the three children is the Indian ethnic dress. So that clearly implies that before coming, they had planned this visit, that they have to give the cultural, value to the children. Because we are talking about J.D. Vance, better half, Usha, Bala, Chelupuri, Van. So if you look at the name, it clearly implies that the first new names were given by the parents, and the third name is of the place where the parents belongs to. And Vance is obviously when she got married to J.D. Vance in the year 2014. The parents of Usha Vance are from Vellore area of a district of Andhra Pradesh, and they shifted to the United States early in the 1980s. Father was an engineer and mother was a microbiology scientist. So since the parents shifted there, she was born there and she met J.D. Vance in the Yale University. But looking at the diplomatic value which the presence of Usha Vance is also giving to the visit of J.D. Vance, also it's a very short visit of the U.S. dignitaries, where they will be visiting Delhi, Jaipur, Agra, and then back to Jaipur, and they will fly back to the United States. The first images are very important to be seen with respect to the television perspective and for the diplomatic value. Usha Vance is wearing a red dress, a modern dress, which is certainly implying that she is representing the modern Indian women. On the other side, giving the cultural value to the children, she had made the children both all the Indian ethnic wear. Both the sons are wearing kurta and pajama, and the daughter is wearing lehenga. So that is clearly implying that the US want to have a very strong connect with the Indian people, and even after visit to the Akshardham, they will be going to the Indian Emporium, which is at the Janpad,
so
which means that the trade
as you describe the larger messaging and the imagery of this very visit. Ashok Sajjanar, good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast. Srinjoy Chaudhary is also with us. Before I come to you, Mr. Sajjanar, let me go across to Srinjoy. Srinjoy, you've been talking about the T's that are important in this visit, and for viewers who've just joined us on this broadcast, tell us about what are those, leverage points in the current geopolitical moment, especially with, this visit happening at a time during the US-China tariff standoff. So what are going to be those leverage points that India will be looking at today?
Well, first of all, never in the history of the world, perhaps, has there been an economic situation that has come about suddenly like this, and I'm referring to the tariffs that President Trump has imposed on virtually every country in the world to start with, and now they've been focused more on China. I mean, 245% tariff on China means we are not going to buy anything that you're selling. Similar tariffs have been imposed on China. It's not 245, but it's about 140. Now, here are the two biggest economies of the world's largest consumer and the world's largest producer, exporter, virtually in economic combat. Now, the point is, India is a large economy. India faces currently a 10% tariff or so. Also, the fact that India's trade deal with America, the free trade agreement, is in place, is going on, and let's hope it is in place soon. So if this visit can take further the free trade agreement, it would be a great help for India. Apart from that, on strategic issues, let's not forget that India has enormous problems with its neighbors. And there, America being part of Quad, being part of Malabar, and also a defense partner, these two issues are very important. But Indo-U.S. ties are very broad. I mean, very shortly, you will have an Indian astronaut on an American spaceship. Now, this is the first time since Rakesh Sharma. So just to give you an example, India is not just defense, India is not just trade, but it's science and technology, it's space, it's education. And there, of course, this issue of visas comes up, because India does not want its students to be suddenly told that, look, here your visa is terminated, now you go home. That is not something India would be keen on, and we imagine that the Indian government would tell Vice President Vance that, look, your wife came to America to study. Similarly, there are many Indians who are studying in America. So let them finish their studies and then you decide what you want to do.
Yes.
Besides, of course, India is the country which sends thousands of great engineers to America. And America has benefited from it. India has also benefited from it.
Absolutely.
We want that process to continue.
Yes. Srinjoy, let me also bring in Ashok Sajjanar, former diplomat. Good morning, sir, and thank you for being with us. When you look at these pictures, because many say that diplomacy is also about messaging, imagery and perception. If we just look at the images of the arrival, the warmth, the camaraderie, the way the children came in wearing traditional Indian clothes, what is your takeaway when you just look at these pictures? What is the larger message that US is sending out?
Thank you very much. I think both the sides are putting their best step forward. As far as J.D. Vance and Usha Vance are concerned, these are very heartwarming pictures. The way that, it's the whole family that has come, the children. Of course, your correspondent has spoken about their attire and how they are turned out, and also the daughter that she's wearing typically ethnic Indian dresses. So that, I think, immediately establishes a connect with the people who are watching these images. But the way that the young girl is being brought down these stairs and J.D. Vance goes up and lifts her up and brings her down. So I think that gives a very warm feeling because, family values are very important in India. Family values are important in the United States. So I think that is another special connect as far as the two countries and the two people are concerned, because this is very important. We've been speaking about the very special, important relationship between the two countries, the Indian diaspora that is there. That counts for a great deal, that contributes a great deal to the relationship. I think the second is that the visit of the Vice President is taking place within 100 days of the inauguration of President Trump. I think that is very significant because it does send out a very clear message. First we had Tulsi Gabbard coming here, then Vice President J.D. Vance, that the United States is serious about, strengthening its bipartisan relationship, between India and the United States. On both sides of the political divide, which is heavily polarized in the United States, they want better relations with India, and likewise in India also. And the third point I would like to make here is that J.D. Vance is an important voice as far as policy formulation in the United States is concerned. We have seen that. And so India is reaching out in a very big way. He is getting a treatment, a guard of honor. He's getting a treatment of a head of state or head of government. Otherwise, any other vice president of any other country would not really be given the sort of guard of honor, the sort of, one of the senior most ministers, Ashwini Vaishnav, is there to receive him at the airport. So I think this messaging definitely is going out very clearly to the people who watch out for these things. And it sends out a very strong message. These 3-4 days are going to be very significant at the personal level. You would remember, that in in the late 90s, it was Hillary Clinton who first came and visited India, and then she persuaded Bill Clinton, who came here in March 2000. And that was really signified the upward trajectory of the India-U.S. partnership, which has been going up.
A lot of warmth in those pictures, Mr. Sajjanar, like you've interpreted them. Let me also take this to my colleague Rishabh, who is reporting on the visit, getting us all the details. Before I come to you, Rishabh, there is an update that Pradeep wants to give us. Pradeep, it's over to you.
In a short while, the cavalcade of the J.D. Vance and his family will be coming out, and from here they will be either moving to the hotel or they'll be moving towards Akshardham, as rightly put out by the panelists as well as my colleague, that this visit is really going to be very important because it's about the cultural immersion,
Yes.
because J.D. Vance will be going to Jaipur and then he will be going towards
Yes.
Agra also. And the second thing is it's all about the economy, because he's also going to send a very strong message that all is
and
well
on this
between
very aspect,
India
let me
and
bring in Rishabh, Pradeep, because Rishabh is also getting us inside details of what could be expected in that meeting between J.D. Vance and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The focus will also be on dinner diplomacy. Rishabh, what is the, what are you tracking from your sources? What is the kind of importance that the Indian diplomatic establishment is attaching to the visit? What are they trying to, take out most from this visit?
Well, Sagarika, good morning. We are here at, Akshardham, where we are expecting the Vice President of the United States to reach anytime soon once he leaves the air base where Pradeep is reporting from. But if we talk about the dinner diplomacy, if we talk about what is on the table with J.D. Vance here in India, Indo-Pacific is something that is very, very important. The situation in Indo-Pacific being discussed between India and U.S. is an important discussion that we're looking at. Tariff is something that, yes, it is genuinely a cause of concern for Global South, and India being an important member of Global South, the tariff will definitely be discussed. Apart from that, defense, space, science and technology, a plethora of topic is on the table. But also we need to understand the restrictions of this meeting. We are talking about the Vice President of the United States, not a President of the United States. So, J.D. Vance can be seen, yes, he is an important entity, but here we can also see him as a messenger of the United States President Donald Trump.
Yes.
And as Ambassador Sajjana was very rightly pointing out that back in 90s we had Hillary Clinton visiting India,
Yes.
and after her visit we saw in Marshall
and
House.
also currently in the geopolitical context, the envoy of MAGA. Let's, we will keep our focus on this visit. Thank you so much, Rinjoy, Rishabh, Pradeep Datta and Priyank. Also thanking our guest, Ashok Sajjanar, former diplomat, for joining us. With that, time for us to take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more news and updates.